So tell me more about this Kampoeng English. I understand you graduated from the green school,
Mm-hmm.
but you started the project before you graduated, correct? What exactly is it, and why did you choose the name Kampoeng English?
Yeah, so um, there's a project that usually the high school students working on in green school, right? So this is like a capstone project before we graduate, kind of like a thesis, you would say, right? And then you're gonna do like a TED talk kind of style at the end of the graduation. Actually, this project, Kampung English, it's not something that I brought up for that specifically for that capstone project. It's just something that came out from my interests. When I was in grade 11, I was like realizing, not only when I was in grade 11, I mean when I was accepted to green school, I already realized how grateful I was, to be placed at the school, right? And I was like, wow, this I don't know how I got here, how just receive full scholarship, right? It's crazy, and I'm sure there are thousands of Indonesian students craving and wanting to be there to enjoy that learning at the green school. So I was like, well, I'm the luckiest then, and the most blessed person. So I was like, I needed to do something, because Bali is such a welcoming place. It's such a warm place to be. And as soon as we arrive, right, it's not only that I got accepted in green school, the Balinese people are so helpful. And I've never seen this kind of people before, when I was in the city. People in the city, they tend to focus on themselves, and if it's enough for them, that's it, right? But Balinese people are so welcoming, and they're putting how do I say this, like they share with each other, right? There's no really like boundaries. So when I arrived, I realized that the Balinese people are opening their kitchen for people, like for people publicly. I was like, oh, nice. And usually in the city, the kitchen are hidden and inside of the house, right? Because it's part of the privacy. But when I got here in Bali, I find out, okay, so Balinese people are very welcoming, very sweet, and very helpful. They helped us to find a house here because we were not really sure where to stay because everything is expensive in Bali. Of course, it's a touristic place, and I was touched by that. I was touched by the help and by the kindness. So when I got to green school,
give back.
Yes, I wanted to give back. I wanted to do something to at least to say thank you to them, but I was not sure in what kind of form. So then I had a conversation, right, with my high school friends, with my dad, especially. I spent a lot of time talking with my dad, actually. Not that I don't love my mom, but my mom, she how do I say this? She focuses on the things to make everything works in the house. So I spent a lot of time discussing and talking with my dad, and so I told my dad, hey dad, I have this passion, right? Singing. I love teaching, and I can speak in English. And the fact that I learned sustainability in green school, which is really, really awesome. And what do? I don't want to keep it to myself. Because there's this saying in Indonesian, right? Like, if you keep all the good things to yourself, you're gonna be fat, right? And being fat is not good, right? It's like you're gonna be like, how do I say this? I'm not like, it's like you're gonna be like obese, like it's too much things, you have to share to feel good, right? To get that balance, you have to share. So I was like, yeah, how can I share, right? How can I share this potential? I know that many people actually have the same thing like me, where they have multiple potentials, not only singing. Some people, maybe they look like they only have one potential, like, oh yeah, I love singing, yeah, for sure, right? I love filmmaking, so specific. But me, I have many of them. I'm like, how can I put them together?
Yeah.
Like, how can I do them together? So my dad told me, why don't you just start from what you can? And what I can think of that time was opening my house. I opened my house terrace. You know how in the front of the house you have the terrace, right? The little space.
Yeah.
Especially in Bali, you have that space. And my dad said, you can start by inviting the kids around the neighborhood, right? And invited them to come and learn English through singing. And the way you still activate your singing is that you can write songs for them, original songs for them to learn. I was like, that's brilliant. I was like, yeah, nice. You know, this is what dad is for, right?
Yeah.
To give you ideas. So I'm like, yeah, this is awesome, and I feel like it was also empowering for me to get that idea, because all these potentials will go together at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Singing, teaching
English.
And then I started with 2 students, right? With 2 Balinese children who live just outside my house. So their parents have like a warung, a small shop, right? And they come from an underprivileged family. And I told them, hey, do you want to learn English through singing? And do you want to read books in English? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, do I have to pay? No. And their parents were like shocked, because they said there's nothing free today, right? In this life, everything has to be paid. And I said no, because education is the right for everybody. Education has to be accessible to everybody, right?
Yeah.
Because this is the main, how do I say this is the foundation for everybody to grow. And so I started with 2 kids, right? And they liked it. They liked the class. It was playing, just like we were talking and stuff in English. And they invited the other friends. So this is words by mouth, right? They were like, hey, the class was really nice. And then they started to invite all the children in the neighborhood, right? And then the next Sunday, so it was Sunday. It was Sunday at 9 a.m. Can you imagine?
Oh my
it's
gosh.
like in the morning, and then... the kids starting to call my name.
And you have to teach.
Exactly. Even 8, they already arrive. Because in the local school, it's usually like that. They have to arrive early. It's like, Miss Tesha! I'm like, I'm still sleeping. But, you know, I'm not saying that when I started, everything was perfect already. Like, I already have the passion and the motivation. I was crying the night before I started. I was like, how do I do this? How do I teach? How do
I'm sure you had
anxiety and oh my god, it was real. And my dad was like, just start, with his golden advice, just start. And I said, okay. And yeah, again, you know, for the listeners, right? If you are willing to take on a new challenge, just start. Just start. I know it's so hard to start. It's so hard. But it's just about starting.
And I mean, you started with just 2 students.
Exactly, just started with 2 students.
How many students do you have now?
I have 105 students now.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
This is words by mouth. This is not like I'm announcing or something to the whole neighborhood, but it's just like words by mouth. So we really grow this school organically, you know. We want these to be based on their awareness. Like they want to do it. They want to go to the school because they want to change their mindset. They want to change their future. So I don't want to push, you know. I know that sometimes with school you have to be like, come on, you have to go, right? You have to do this, do that. This is good for you. Other people telling you that, right? Something that is good for you. But I want the children to see if it's good for them. If they love it, right? I want the children to learn based on their, not interest, how do I say this? Based on their like heart, right?
Their own drives.
Because, their own drives, and they're like, I love it. I want to learn, right? I want to change my way of thinking.
So how does it work? What does an average day in that school looks like for the kids?
So I actually spend the class or the session with the kids like 2 hours in a day. I don't want to be too long with them because I know the attention span with the kids. It's impossible to keep them too long, but usually like let's say like 2 hours. Like the first hour usually we like kind of mingling with each other, you know, like talking with the volunteers. I always have volunteers from other parts of the world, you know.
Oh, amazing.
And we have been having from Australia, we have been having from New Zealand.
This is
from
also
France.
word of mouth, right?
Yes, word of mouth. These are my friends. These are not like I'm announcing in social media or something. But again, it's words by mouth, right?
Yeah.
I'm meeting people along the way, and people are interested in my project, and they started to volunteer. So the kids, they love to talk with the volunteers, right? The Bali children. Like,
it's a way for them to practice too,
exactly,
right?
for them to practice. Like they will come to the volunteers like, how are you? How are you? I'm good. And it makes me so happy. And then after mingling time, usually we transition to the lesson, like to the theory, what are we gonna learn today? We're gonna learn about creatures in the ocean, right? I'm gonna explain what are the creatures in the ocean and stuff like that. And after that, the next 30 minutes, I'm gonna introduce my original song. This is when I get really nervous because I'm not sure if the kids liking it or not, right? And usually, but so far kids are liking my songs, so thank God.
What do you mean by original song? Like what is in the song?
Yeah, I can actually sing one of the songs. It's like
yes.
we were learning about feelings, right, in English. How do you express your feelings in English?
Just give us a little brief.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give a little brief. So the song is like, I want everybody to be happy. I want everybody to be glad. I want everybody to be happy on the earth. I don't want anybody sad. So it's like, we want to raise the awareness, right?
That's some nice sounding voice for all you listeners out there.
Thank you so much. Yeah, this is like, we're not only teaching them like the name of the feelings itself, but it's just like also there's a purpose behind the lesson, right? To raise the awareness on how to that we have to support each other, no matter what, to make each other feel good, right? Like I said in the song, I don't want anybody sad. I don't want anybody sad. I want these children to go out there in the world to make positive changes, and and then they have to embrace everybody, everybody who is happy, no matter everybody who is brokenhearted, or we have to come as people who embrace, right? Yeah, the feeling. So
that's so cool. We got a little bit distracted there, but go back to what the average day was like.
Oh, okay. So the average day, and then after that, we're gonna stand up and we're gonna explore what's around, right? Because the school itself, we don't have classrooms, proper classrooms.
It's in your front terrace.
Yeah, terrace. And also the thing is, now we have expanded to the other village, right? We started in Sibangkaja village, which is my house.
Okay.
And then I met a person. He's a significant person in a village, in other village called Penarungan village.